Yo, you guys. Happy Tuesday. How you guys doing?
Excellent.
Happy Tuesday. It's definitely a happy one. I think Bitcoin just hit all-time highs not too long ago, which
Yeah.
is yeah, it reached at some point. I think I was looking at the wick, it was like 93,800 almost,
We,
which
we
is
did
crazy.
we did say that was happening yesterday on our stream. That
Nice.
the Tuesday flip was most likely going positive, and we're in for it. And it happened, and it played out. I, it didn't seem like we were that close to all time high yesterday, but I guess it doesn't take
Hmm.
that much. A couple percent, and you're back to all time high. Um,
Yeah.
we're down there from a bit, but I think we're in for a little bit of a push here. There's some resistance not farther above 95K range, but overall, happy Tuesday.
Yes, it is. And it looks like it is mostly really a Bitcoin and Solana kind of like rally, because I mean obviously some meme coins and we'll speak about them later, but looks like everyone is really buying Bitcoin. Institutions are really running to acquire meme coins. Sorry, Bitcoin, and so it's just almost like we're gonna see. I think dominance is gonna rise here until the end of the year. I don't know if you guys see the same, but I think we're still in Bitcoin season.
Yeah, I think
Oh
so.
yeah. I think we're just trying to jump the gun too early, saying that's gonna flow into alts, but Bitcoin and like you said, Sol is making it killing right now. I think Bitcoin is kind of the focus right now. Bitcoin options started trading today. I think I'm not sure you have that on your slides, Rotes, but that's probably another bullish sign for institutional and people not in Web3 to start getting into Bitcoin.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to start with the market update, Roads, or do we want to be looking at macro? But if you guys, we can do both. The idea is like I was just looking at MicroStrategy. Oh my God, you guys see MicroStrategy chart? It's
No.
it's like it's incredible, man. I mean, like, it just keeps pushing the highs, and obviously they bought 2 billion uh worth of Bitcoin, I believe. I think it was yesterday it was, but they're trying to buy up to 40 billion with a mix of issuing debt and equity, and it's just insane. I mean, like it's just obviously entering the parabolic phase, and I don't know how this will end, but if you had some call options or if you own MicroStrategy, congratulations, you're doing very well. For sure.
You yeah, I think we'll cycle back into the macro side of things. We basically covered my top 3 points on Bitcoin and macro already, and so it's good. It means we're in lockstep. It means that there's some we're seeing the same things. But yeah, Bitcoin and Solana we're kind of really leading the charge here. Last few days, really Solana showing a lot of strength. Bitcoin here today. Ethereum actually going down as they rally. So ETH is really struggling. I think it's when ETH full fade is when it tends to pump. Kind of catches us off guard, but that's about the only thing that's positive on these side of things. I think Solana still looks really good and showing charge. And Bitcoin, you're right. I think dominance wise is going to lead the way. We could see 65%. We could see 70%. But it looks like we might be breaking this range on dominance for Bitcoin. Magic Eden airdrop tokenomics were announced, so that's interesting. Bit of airdrop season there. Could be looking at about 375 million worth of airdrops here towards the community. So that's a big stim. Bitcoin options are live, as well as MicroStrategy continuing to buy. They recently bought 4.6 billion more. Wasn't really seen on the order books, probably OTC, something like that, and adding another 1.7 billion. I think I'm missing the end of the decimal point there, billion more. But yeah, MicroStrategy continued to lead the charge, kind of that leverage bet on Bitcoin, which is crazy to think, given Bitcoin's move here. NFTs volume is continuing to be strong across the board. Pudgy Penguins seeing the rally on kind of the blue chip side of things, up 12%. Zeri Born called out by our very own guest host, or not guest host, but our very own co-host, and is up another 80% here over the last 24 hours. It had previously hit 6 SOL, but called and mentioned at 1 SOL. Actually, I think even a half SOL initially. So really good cook there. One of the few cooks on Solana overall. Pudgy Rogs up 50% to half an ETH. I'm a little bit surprised they're up that high. Typically when pudgies are doing well, it's little pudgies is where you want to be. There's always been this tease of Rogs having some form of utility, this, that, anything else, but it just hasn't ever materialized. So, I'm not sure what's in there, but they're surging up. And then ETH blue chips in general are doing really well over the last 30 days. If you look at some of the Solana ordinals and some of the smaller caps on ETH, most are kind of mixed and or down in the 30-day range, but all of the primary blue chips, except for Zuki, are performing really well. So that's great to see. Kind of leading almost a preemptive lead on the charge of what we expect to be an NFT move as the coming months go. Meme coins, Dog Runes are kind of the biggest winner, up 17%, up to 847 million, and up over 100% in the last week. Bonk up a lot. Bonk is that kind of unit biased, which helps kind of generate a lot of volume for it. Peanut and Goat also up. Goat kind of being the really steady AI agent. There's been a lot of chaos in the AI agent side of things, so it's a little unknown where all of those will kind of fall out. But and then I still have the Fed rate cut is kind of the most interesting thing in the prediction markets. Also, I think there's some interesting ones on the price achievement markets for BTC as well. But that's really it. I'm going to pause. I think we can cruise into macro. Welcome, Bren, as well. Real fun Tuesday ahead.
What's good, guys? How's everyone doing?
Excellent.
Pretty good. We keep calling the space the Bitcoin pivots on Monday, so it seems like it's working out very well. But just talking about Bitcoin options, Bitcoin SOL dominating the way. What do you think, Bren?
What was the question? What was the last part?
The Bitcoin and SOL being the real winners for now in the top 3 and even in crypto in general.
Moving up right now. I still think we'll go over in a second. Better entry as far as like a long position or just in general over the next few months. I think ETH looks really nice here. But yeah, of course, ETH and Bitcoin or SOL and Bitcoin are doing really well this week, especially Bitcoin continues to be the dominant narrative with more and more talk around the strategic reserve. Michael Saylor buying a lot of Bitcoin. And I think that's going to continue to be dominant as far as the narrative goes. I do think there's going to be a time here, maybe this year, probably early next, where Bitcoin cools off for a bit. And then for a month or a few weeks at least, the alts kind of take over. But yeah, everything's looking great so far. Can't complain. I am looking for ETH to catch up here soon. But as far as the majors go, I can share my screen in a second. I do think, we definitely could see 100K by the end of the year. Got to keep in mind that Christmas time tends, about half the time, maybe a little bit more, tends to be a pretty quiet time for assets in general. But with a 6-month cool off for Bitcoin plus everything going on, who knows? Maybe we do have a strong December. But yeah.
So we report. I don't know. Nvidia earnings are coming up right now, right? Isn't it when they're reporting? Because that's obviously going to affect everything in crypto.
Nvidia?
Yeah, Nvidia. Yeah.
Is it though? Like most months, does it?
No, it is today after hours.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I think it could definitely have an effect on AI coins. I'll go ahead and share my screen here in just a second. We'll finish it.
No, it's tomorrow. FG.
Oh, it's tomorrow? Okay, because I was looking to an article. It says Nvidia stock prices on AI spending. Okay, well, it's still like trying to make another all-time highs. I don't know if you guys saw it, but a speculation or expectation says that it's still going to be another good earnings report. So we'll see.
You want to switch to my screen?
Yeah, I got you. I know you're ready.
No worries.
Yeah, you're on.
No worries. I just put it on right now. So, so Bitcoin One of two scenarios could happen here. Either it just continues up and we go to 100K, or it fails to break here, kind of like it is right now. Obviously, this is only 1 4-hour candle. It could fail to break and come back down all the way down to this consolidation low here at 86K, and form just a bigger corrective consolidation. But essentially, I think it would be the same outcome. It would just be a more, again, an extended just sideways before we continue higher. So definitely can look out for that. I could also see a scenario where this happens and then ETH goes, just because ETH right now is in such a clean correction. It's also possible if Bitcoin comes down that ETH makes one more low in this corrective channel, at which that point I think is probably the very bottom. But yeah, one of two scenarios. I think either the majors, Bitcoin's probably the clearest here, fails to break and we come back down one more to 87K, kind of chop sideways for another week or two and then go up, or we just power right through. I don't have a strong opinion on either one. It could go either way. But I think either way over the next few weeks, next few months, we're going higher. And then, I mean, for Sol, pretty much the same outcome, maybe a little bit different. Obviously, Bitcoin and Sol look pretty similar. But yeah, if ETH and Bitcoin were to pull back here, I'd expect Sol to continue to do the same. But not enough consolidation up here at all for it to warrant a major top or something that would be more than just a quick correction. And then right along with that, Bitcoin dominance does look like it wants one more up. Right here, this piece from the last 11 days tells me we want to push up one more time at least to around 63 to 65%, at which that point I do think we're going to see at least a local top, kind of what I'm depicting in this box here, where Bitcoin dominance will at least come down, at least temporarily. And at that point, that's probably when we get that euphoric alt season where, everything's kind of running. A lot of where probably the highest concentration of normie activity will be as well. So doesn't mean that our memes can't go up in the meantime, even when Bitcoin dominance is going up. But I do think eventually it's inevitable. We will get that period where it does take at least a temporary correction, and which will be very good for our alt and meme bags.
Yes, sir. Good analysis. What I'm looking at is, and I know you're going to talk about Ethereum probably here, Bren, but I was looking at some sort of like calculation, and this is something that we always discuss in this show. But if if Ethereum goes to 10,000 and Solana goes to $10,000, the cost per transaction on Ethereum would be around 1,200, whereas the cost in Solana will be $1.2. So even if the price goes up, who's going to use the chain, right? It's not really a scalable per se?
Whales and institutions will use L1, and the L2s will be used for most trading activity in the next few years. So that's the plan.
Yeah.
Obviously, like any of these things, it takes time to scale. But yeah, obviously, like we've talked about before, in a year or two from now, I do think most activity will be moved on the L2s. We're already seeing it. You're already seeing MOG and all these coins you can trade on base as well. It just takes another 5 minutes to move over. And once people start to realize that, and once these L2s get a little bit easier to use, that won't be a problem anymore. But still, Solana will probably still remain the dominant chain for meme coins. But again, it's really easy to stay in the meme coin bubble when that's all we're trading. When you realize that meme coins overall 5 years from now is just going to be a small percentage of the overall volume. When you have RWAs, DPIN, all this gaming, all this other shit, it's going to trump all the meme coin transactions overall. So again, it's not just about what the most optimized meme coin chain is. There's a lot more that goes into it. But of course, just hold a bag of Sol and ETH. You don't have to worry about competition really.
Yeah, no, but so for instance, like for RWA, I understand there's institutions buying on Ethereum, but like for DePIN and even like DSC5, right, decentralized science, they are choosing Solana as the chain, which is kind of like, I guess it's not surprising, but yeah.
Who's they? Like,
I mean, you're seeing the projects. There's a few DePIN projects like Hive Mapper.
I'll admit DePIN is probably like the one sector that I know the least about. I know a little. I've been, RWA is a little bit more, but DePIN, like, probably I know very little about. So you're probably right. I really don't know too much about it.
Have you guys looked into this DSCFI or decentralized science narrative?
What's decentralized science? What's the pitch on that? Like this 30-second pitch on decentralized science.
That's the multi-million-dollar question. I'm not an expert on it, but what I know is they're trying to decentralize research,
Interesting.
for multiple applications. And so if you see the two kind of like leading, I guess, meme coins, they were doing research for health purposes and other reasons. And so, I mean, we saw a little bit of an uptick of decentralized science early 2024, I believe, or
Really?
late 2023. Yeah, but the narrative died pretty quickly. I think it was because Brian Armstrong invested in one of those companies or whatever for decentralized science. And
Oh,
but the narrative didn't really catch up to it. Yeah, there's a couple of tokens on CoinMarketCap, but now it's coming back as a kind of like hybrid of a meme coin and utility token. So there's this one Riff, and the other one I think is called Euro or something. I don't know. They're at the top of the chart when it comes to volume in the last few days, but
yeah.
I haven't
Riff
traded
sounds
them.
familiar. That's interesting. I'll have to look into decentralized science. I think decentralizing information and anything in general can be beneficial to a lot of different industries and stuff. So I'm sure,
Mhm.
yeah, all that's great because I don't know too much. I'm not, haven't done any research on this stuff. I'm not like super up on medical stuff, but I'm sure there's a bunch of ways you could make the medical research more transparent. And I know a lot of people FUD experiments and these different studies because they can be paid for and all that stuff. So I'm
Mhm.
sure that'll definitely something there with that. S&P 500 as well. I do think matches up kind of are with a bias for crypto moving up higher at the end of the year. Quick pullback on the S&P 500. It's definitely possible we make another low here, but to me, this is very corrective. I think just like these last three other corrections I have drawn out here since August, I think we're going to continue higher as well.
Bren, you're not sharing your screen, by the way.
Really?
Oh, there you go. Sum it up.
I'm not sharing it. Did someone unshare mine?
No, you just, I don't know if you like disabled sharing.
I actually see the SPX 500. I don't know if it's you, Banksy, or Brent, but I do see it on my screen.
Okay, I don't know. I should be sharing now, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So yeah, S&P 500 quick pullback corrective. I think it continues higher, and I do think the assets continue to the upside until some kind of black swan, whether it be unemployment spiking. That's not really a black swan, but unemployment spiking or some kind of something breaking, some kind of bank going out, some nuke going off, something. Anything apart from that, I think assets are going to continue the upside. All the catalysts are there. The charts are all lining up. So I'm just real quickly going to go over a few higher cap coins. If you're in the stream right now, maybe you're coming back new to crypto. If you're new to crypto or you're just coming back for the first time in a few years, first of all, welcome. You're still relatively early. You're still in a good place, and the fact that you're on these streams like this and trying to learn is great. But the what I would say is here's a few higher cap coins. We'll go over some memes and stuff, the lower cap stuff, but here's a couple higher cap coins where if you're looking to park your money in something that's been around for several years but still has a ton of upside, here's a few coins. Avalanche is an L1. I do think Avalanche is very undervalued as far as L1s go right here. Beautiful corrective chart pattern. I think crypto gaming is going to give Avalanche a huge push up. Let's see here. I'm going to go over these really quickly. ENS, I think, is in a beautiful corrective channel as well. ENS is actually attached to Ethereum name service, which I think probably this next year's might be the biggest breakthrough for ENSs ever because of how many people are joining crypto. I think ENSs just make the ability to send crypto that much easier. People are going to have more of a digital identity online. Therefore, I do think ENS addresses are going to do well, have a lot of mind share. Therefore, I think the coin will do well. Let's go. Polkadot probably being the highest, like most undervalued L1, probably the best risk to reward, maybe in the top 20. Polkadot is down 90% still. The founder, Gavin Wood, is actually one of the original founders of Ethereum. He did the first programming. He didn't develop the language. He thought of the idea. I don't know how to word it properly, of Solidity, which is still probably the main programming language for crypto in general and the programming language for Ethereum. He developed that and then later on branched off and formed Polkadot back in like 2019. They've paid like a lot of influencers money the last few years. So there's like a lot of people joking on them, but I do think they do very well, very likely make a new all-time high, possibly much higher. Could be an easy 5 to 20x from here next year. And then one more, Chainlink. Can't go wrong with that. Chainlink probably has the most used technology in all of crypto amongst the most apps and all that. They have oracles, which provide price data and keep price data or just data in general accurate. And then as well as they're building something like CCIP or whatever, which is supposed to make blockchains interoperable and make the blockchain ecosystem, blockchain world just better in general. Beautiful corrective channel as well. I think this one is going to absolutely explode heading into a year where I think a lot of utility stuff will actually do well.
Yeah, no, this is a good recap, and I agree with Chainlink. Now, if we can go back to Polkadot, chart wise, I understand, but how do you see this mass upside when it comes to like usage? And I know you have different metrics as an investor trader. Everything is based on speculation, but what's the driver behind Polkadot?
The operator, it's been around for 5 years, and we're in a bull market, brother. Stuff that runs and has any type of community just runs. Name me 3 things that are built on Sui. Go. I'm just playing. Like that chain is going off.
I know, but it's new,
you know
right?
I mean?
It's new, and it's the fastest actually transaction chain, even faster than Solana, right? So it has what I'm saying is like new shiny objects are something that people speculate on, and there's not really any historical chart to base it on, so it can go as high as it can go. But with older chains, why would people buy this chain? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Because there's an actually existing community from years ago. Again, the operator is way more proven than any of these things out there. They have the Web3 Foundation, lobbying in Washington, a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you don't see during a bull market, but that actually matter once the demand is back. So I think they've just laid the groundwork on the outside. And then again, the charts. We're in a bull market, like I said. We're going to come into a phase where anything that has any kind of existing community, especially even if they're from 2021, is going to run. And in that scenario, I like to find the coins that are underhyped. Nobody's talking about them. Still have great charts. Still have great operators. All that. Those tend to be the ones that have the best ROI, and not necessarily have like some crazy answer on why it's going to be dominant or anything. It doesn't have to be a dominant chain to be well. I think it's just undervalued from where it's at.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a possibility. I was looking at some on-chain metrics before, and Solana has about 8 million users per day, and Cardano has 59,000.
So I'm surprised they have that much. What are they doing? What are they doing on there?
To be honest, I have no clue. But it's like, how can you? I mean, yes, there's a ton of like hype under the founder like Charles Funkinson or whatever his name is, but I just don't see a dinosaur chain getting back to all-time highs. But
brother,
again,
it's about
differently.
the reason why it ran last year is because it's a cult, bro. That's the only reason XRP, Doge, ADA ran. Nothing else matters, is just the cult dynamics. And the reason why I built such cult dynamics for ADA's position is because they spent a fuck ton on marketing. They actually, the way that they set up their pools, the LP pools, is actually they had a referral system on there. So pretty much the big influencers, you could refer somebody to their pool and they would get more money. So it just they have this big incentive. They just have a bunch of incentives for influencers to like bring people in, and it doesn't matter about chain activity, right? It's literally about the cult dynamics, and that's why we're starting to see Doge, ADA, XRP start to run again, because those normies are starting to trickle back in and they're buying what's familiar. So I think that's why ADA and stuff's going to continue to do well.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think we should definitely talk before we move on to other topics. Macro wise, we should definitely talk about Nvidia earnings. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts, but you were mentioning, Bren, that the S&P or the QQQ are a little bit down. To be honest, if you look at the daily chart, that green spike is because of Nvidia moving. And so I wonder if, hopefully we have another blowout earnings, or at least positive enough to beat analyst expectations and everything in crypto as well. I think if Nvidia disappoints, we could see a short-term retrace here for tokens, just because crypto is so correlated to the S&P and tech stocks right now.
I hate to push back against it again, but like they were decoupled the last few months, right? Like to the ups for the downside for crypto, as S&P was moving all right along this entire time while crypto's been sideways. So yeah, very possible Nvidia earnings does something, but as well as it very well could just shrug it right off. I think crypto's kind of on its own trajectory for now. Obviously, if there's some type of black swan, I think both of them are going to come down. But I'm not sure the Nvidia earnings would do something unless it was like crazy disappointing. I do think the Nvidia earnings could very well have have an effect on AI coins, as
Yeah.
far as Tau, which we can talk about Tau, and then even on to the AI memes as well. So yeah, definitely interesting thing to keep
Yeah,
an eye on.
perhaps not on
What did
Bitcoin as
Nvidia real quick,
much.
what did Nvidia earnings do last month or last time they
Like, you
came
mean
out?
last quarter?
Yeah,
Yeah,
last quarter. Sorry.
I don't know. I think
They
I don't know
didn't
if you
do
guys have it
well. They
handy.
dropped.
Oh, that's right. We were on stream, right? We saw it. They dropped
Yeah,
heavy.
they dropped heavy. I don't know. I think Nvidia's gonna do. I mean, it's the demand for their GPUs is insanely high
I know.
still. It's just whether or not they live up to their estimates
I mean,
on
it's
revenue
already at
growth
what,
and
a
whatever.
3.5 trillion, a 3.2 trillion market cap, right?
It's
So
insane.
in the best case scenario, I mean, during this crazy maniac, what do you guys think it does? Maybe like another goes to 4 trillion. There's not much growth you can. I mean, everyone owns this thing. I think BlackRock has like, and they cannot buy anymore, right? Because all these funds and institutions have like limits on how much they can buy. So who's gonna buy Nvidia at this point? Retail, and
I
retail is not
think
gonna move the needle.
from what I understand, and I'm not an expert on this tough stuff, from what I understand, a lot of this money that drives the S&P up year over year continues to is that people automatically have like a 5% of their 401k every
Yeah.
month that just goes straight into the S&P 500. So it's like a unlimited twop onto the S&P 500 every single month from these
Mhm.
people in their 401ks. But yeah, that's a good question. That's a very good point for Loco. It's definitely run a lot. I think the way it could continue to higher is if AI just continues to stay extremely dominant, which I think it will. Plus, if they do start to turn on money printers again, type thing, I do think it's probably just going to continue up by default.
Mhm.
But yeah, maybe there's a chance that AI takes a back seat. There's not some crazy, AGI or whatever. Elon thinks it's 2026. Maybe for some reason we get to like 2025 and it doesn't happen, and then there's a huge bubble in AI and it pops. Like that's possible. But I think AI or Nvidia will probably just keep getting driven up with the overall stock market, unless something happens with AI, like some negative development or something.
Yeah.
But
Do you guys think 401ks move the needle on a $3.5 trillion company, though? I know institutions do, but I'm just wondering because
yeah,
uh,
it
it's
adds up for sure, bro. It's like a huge buy. It's just a massive buy pressure, right? It's just about buy pressure versus sell pressure. And when you have millions of people or however much, putting however thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars a month into the S&P, it's just a massive buy pressure every single month.
yeah, for sure. And then we were discussing MicroStrategy. I don't know if you have the chart here handy, but hitting all-time high after all-time high because they just bought more Bitcoin. I think yesterday, 2 billion worth of
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
and I look more into it. I think we were talking about this last week, like the premium or whatever. It's like pretty much they could have it set up where they can just keep borrowing
Yeah.
against it and keep going up. It's just not going to end unless that Bitcoin just
Yeah.
has unless again, I'll preface that unless Bitcoin has like a 50-60% crash due to some other circumstance, then maybe and it stayed down there for 5 years, then maybe they'd have problems. But he's so up right now anyway that I saw this guy broke it down on Twitter that obviously especially if other people start to swap in, like you're just gonna be able to keep buying billions of dollars and just borrowing against the stock.
I'm gonna call it
Again,
right now. MicroStrategy is gonna be the downfall of this bull cycle. I'm gonna
yeah.
call it right
Possibly.
now. I'm gonna call it right now. They're too over leveraged. Like
Again, they're
so
not
it's
leveraged though.
too
We've been over this. Like, I'll just interrupt
dude.
you there. Like,
If you look at the amount of Bitcoin they hold compared to their value as a company, like you're paying a premium.
yeah,
Yeah, but they
leverage
pay
is
back their shareholders very quickly because the loans are almost like 0% interest. So it's not really that as scary as you think. Thanks. I was looking
yeah,
into
it's
it
not
as
really
well.
leverage is where like you can get liquidated, right? Like they can't get liquidated unless again it stayed down there for 5 years and the board like kind of turned on him and stuff, which there was like speculation of when we were down in 2022. But again, even if it went down 50% from here, I guess from right here they bought so much recently it might make an effect, but they're already up like however many billion.
Yeah.
I think the only way it kind of fucks everything up is if Bitcoin goes into like a ice age for like 5 or 6 years and then they're forced to sell.
Yeah.
Right, but they can't raise. They won't be able to raise the capital to go buy Bitcoin if the premium isn't there.
Yeah, they can't buy any more.
Uh,
But that doesn't mean
yeah.
they have to sell, right?
Yeah. I mean, they can still buy it, but the premium is the other part of it that you have to look at it, right? Is that do you really buy the stock versus buying Bitcoin? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And some people prefer to have Bitcoin held by a US stock versus just Bitcoin, because to be honest, guys, most people don't really know how to buy crypto yet, and even though Robinhood is there and Coinbase is there, the large majority of people don't own crypto, don't know how to own crypto. So it's like, okay, I'll just buy it with my brokerage account. I'll buy MicroStrategy, have some exposure, while also having this US stock company, whatever, that's been around for 20 years. But those could be just my thoughts. You know what I think is going to be the end of the cycle, Danksy?
Well,
Headlines like this: Binance is going to launch a new stablecoin with 19% APY. That's the kind of headlines you're looking for a short-term top.
really, what's the backing on
Yeah.
that?
I was looking into it. It's called BFUSD, and it's essentially their stable coin on Binance with a 19.55, almost 20% yield.
They said it's
So-
not a stable coin.
It's backed by front-running meme coins.
That's what it is. It's but those are the kind of things that we saw in the previous
Binance
cycle, right?
clarifies
When you were-
BFUSD not a stablecoin and not launched yet.
Okay, they just clarified that. Okay, I was looking at some different headlines 10 hours ago.
Yeah, I saw that
But
too.
the idea is whatever, when you see this kind of yields, we saw this happening last cycle before Luna, right? You were just staking your tokens anywhere, getting like, I think it was like something stupid, like 10% a month, 8% a month. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that's unsustainable.
It
But
says,
we'll
to be
see.
clear, it's not a stablecoin, but a reward-bearing margin asset for futures trading. So yeah, I'm surprised there hasn't been more Ponzi's, though, to your point. Last cycle, there was a new Ponzi every week. There was Luna. There was the Time. I don't know if you guys Time Wonderland. And just like a lot with these,
You're
like,
surprised. You're just surprised none of them have blown up yet. Give it a year.
no, like what
Give it a
Ponzi's
year.
are there out there?
Dude, everything could you don't know until it blows up.
No, I'm just saying, can you name any like actual like Ponzi's where it's like a guaranteed return or whatever? Like there were so many of those last cycle. I'm just trying to think. I'm sure there will be once normies start to trickle in more. But yeah, there was Time Wonderland. That one was crazy with that guy Danielle or whatever. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I'll tell you one this cycle. Everything related to Ethereum restaking, restaking narrative, that's pretty sketchy. I don't know if you guys have it.
Really,
That.
the liquid staking stuff.
No, restaking, right? Which is staking on staking, not Lido like Ethereum staking, but the staking on the staked Ethereum. That's what restaking
Like
is.
leverage
pretty
staking,
much.
basically.
Yeah. When you start like staking the staked, that's pretty sketchy right there. But we'll see.
Yeah, that's where it is. Like that's leveraging up for sure. That's like, yeah, you can easily. That's how you get liquidated and stuff for sure. What else happened this week? Anything? It's been pretty calm since the whole peanut shit with Binance. After that, it seems to have calmed down the last few days. A lot. It seems what is dominant right now is the AI AI meme coins, AI agents. For me, for the first few weeks, I was like busy with just other stuff, and then I just tend to like take stuff slowly and just learn about stuff before I hop in. Definitely faded a lot of the AI meme coin stuff for the first few weeks, but then these coins like Zero Bro, Goat went into their first big corrections, and then that's where I kind of went in heavy, especially with Zero Bro. I think we talked about it a week ago for the first time. Posted it in the channel, both the coin at 100 mil or maybe 80, 90 mil, and then the Zero Born NFTs at 0.9 Sol. And then now the Zero Bro chart, let's pull it up. Zero Bro is now sitting at 400 or 360 now. Was 400 a few hours ago. And then the Zero Born NFTs are hit 0.8 today. So I do think the AI agents to me are super interesting. For me, Zero Bro is kind of my favorite and kind of where I have a big concentrated position. I think this one's easily going to 1 billion. And I think that this guy, Jeffy Vu, who's kind of the dev for it, continues to ship a lot of cool things. Last week, he continues to improve the AI bot itself. I encourage you guys to go check this out. Go into the Telegram, go in Zero Bros, like in there all the time. It's pretty crazy to talk to the AI bot. And then two, they shipped an EP, like an album, a rap album made with the guy Jeffy and Zero Bro, kind of how like they did with Drake AI music a couple months ago, which is pretty cool. Just anybody knows anything about meme coins, like that's how you build have pumps and build value is by just shipping stuff and building hype. And this guy Jeffy has just proven he can do that. So I do think Zero Bro's easily going to $1 billion, probably a lot higher. So congrats on that.
I agree.
You bought that the last few weeks.
Yeah, no, that was a great call, Bren. Been following it, and we can talk about. There's another drama here, the AI memes that happened overnight last night with A16C crypto, but there's other headlines that we probably should consider. I mean, boring week perhaps a little bit, but there's also like this conflict going on in Ukraine and Russia with the missiles that apparently Biden and the US is allowing Ukraine to use. There's this region in I guess in between the two countries that is disputed right now, and there might be some conflict. Just as always, I don't know if it's going to de-escalate or end up in something bad.
Sure. Where is it? I'm sorry. I was looking at my phone. Where's the conflict?
Ukraine and Russia. Yeah.
I did see that.
So-
I did see that. What they say they're allowing them to use the missiles. I think somebody like Adam Cochran, a lot of the liberal guys, kind of frame it as that
basically you can shoot them in Russia, basically.
Yeah, they're just
super low
allowing,
range.
pretty much just allowing Ukraine to get on equal ground as Russia in negotiations if they both have missiles. I highly doubt. I mean, I'm not an expert on this shit at all, but I highly doubt Ukraine's gonna launch anything at Russia. They'd know they'll probably just get wiped and create this.
I think they launched it. They launched some already missiles at a region called Bryansk. So Ukraine hits Bryansk region with missiles. I don't know if that region is in between or it used to belong to Ukraine, but definitely they launched some missiles. So
well, spoke too soon.
yeah.
I mean, they're just doing
we'll
it so
see.
they can get more land for the ceasefire.
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's more of
the
a
same that happened with
negotiation
Middle East.
thing. But yeah, I mean, you always got to keep an eye on this stuff. I mean, there's always a chance that one of these countries, does a out of nowhere attack, which could cause some kind of black swan. But unless if it's something devastating that has long-term effects, I tend to think that it would just act as like a liquidation cascade or something like we saw with the last Israel and Iran attack. So
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully it escalates, but I want to hear from Rhodes, man. There's a lot of things going on in NFTs and
let's go.
and runes as well with Bitcoin price action and Magic Eden launching ME, the token. That's also very exciting. So Rhodes, take it over. I want to hear from you on that end for sure.
Yeah, there's this momentum from NFTs is kind of continued beyond what I initially expected. Right? Was it a kind of a bounce from consolidation levels, or was this actually some momentum that was sustainable beyond a short-term range? Looking at the high end of the ETH NFTs, it definitely looks like it's something that's been quite sustained, right? So we're seeing essentially all of them except for maybe Azuki on a pretty good climb over the last 30 days. And generally speaking, looking quite positive, right? The latest one to make a move now is Pudgy Penguins up above this 10 ETH range, back into 11, almost 12 ETH range.
Oh wow!
Rogs up 50% recently. They have taken a big move up to half an ETH.
What do you say, frogs?
Rogs.
Oh,
So the Pudgy rods.
Oh yeah.
Little Pudgies, I'm sure, are probably presenting a possible little bit of value there. But overall,
so are the rods more expensive than the little Pudgies? Are they just more rare or more?
Little Pudgies should be higher. They're what are they at right now?
They're 1 ETH, yeah.
That's a pretty fair range for them. You look at that kind of ratio of 1 to 10. They could be maybe a little higher than what they're at right now. Given that Pudgies are up to this 11, 12 range. So overall, really strong for the Pudgy ecosystem.
Yeah,
kind of quiet.
It's been consolidating for 7 months.
Yeah,
right. It looks nice.
They have everything going on with their business quite well in terms of percolating mainstream, I think, as it's like to be called, and that the IP and the brand. I'm sure something will come out that really kind of takes over NFT and NFT culture in general. So Pudgies are a strong bet given everything that they've done. Of course, Doodles have continued their kind of move. A little bit of pullback on them, which is good to see. I'm not sure exactly what this whole McDonald's process now brings to them, but I'm bullish in general on what they have done so far and what they're able to do. That I think, longer term, they have that same ability to kind of get to that pudgy type breakout. It may take some time for this to play out. I hesitate that they took so long to break 2 ETH, even though a lot of the positive energy was there for some time. The only times that they've been able to do it was when they went to the Toronto Film Festival and now this kind of McDonald's announcement. But they feel like they should be a 4 or 5 ETH kind of NFT again. So, wait on them. Maybe a little bit more of a higher risk maneuver, but they look strong in general. Punk's kind of kicked off the whole run on ETH NFTs with a large whale sweep of a million in Punks. They have been on this climb all the way up to, I think, about just shy of 40 ETH on the floor price. Bit of retracement now here on that. Maybe we're going to see some retracement, but ETH declining, etc. Overall, Ethereum NFTs at the high end are where the best action has been in terms of accumulation. Solana, the pockets there have been when it comes to meme type NFTs. And really, probably the biggest winner recently here is something like Miladies that had retraced quite a bit and now have just been on an absolute tear, moving from 4.5 up to almost 7, and looking really strong. Of course,
Remilio's on the run too. I picked up 2 of these at 1 ETH. It's more of a swing trade for me. I'll hopefully hold these closer to like 5-10 ETH.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything in the ecosystem there, I think, is really good.
Hell yeah!
And they kind of lead that PFP meme kind of culture. Sproto's in there, obviously. Zeriborn kind of fit there a bit. Fwogs that we've kind of talked about in their kind of insane early valuation. Overall, this is the sector beyond blue chips that I see the most opportunity and growth as we move into this kind of meme super cycle. They're going to become a visual representation of those trading in there. And what I think also has kind of happened with some of the general energy toward NFTs is that when memes are performing well, I think you're going to see some profit taking, and that profit taking could reside into NFTs, among other things. Obviously,
absolutely. I just to touch on that, I think that I'm right on board with that. I do think in the biggest way we've probably ever seen, like eventually, especially so many people are going to have made so many millions of dollars on these meme coins. They already have, but especially a few months from now, that there's no way that people aren't going to flex and get these big flexes like with these NFTs and these status symbol type thing. And I do think the meme coin NFTs are probably, again, the best setup to get a lot of that capital, because again, a lot of those millionaires are going to be made by the NFTs or the meme coins themselves. So the way I'm kind of looking at it right now, I think Sproto Gremlins are probably the best risk to reward out of anything right now, because again, like Rotes was saying, I do think meme coin NFTs are set up the best to get the most attention and capital, and the attention and the hype is like completely down versus where it was a few weeks ago. So historically, whether it be meme coin NFTs, whatever, this is the time you want the best, safest, best ROI time you want to be buying, or risk to reward time you want to be buying anything, is when it's already proven, had its run, has the obvious narrative, and then corrects in price. People are focusing on elsewhere. Historically, in my personal experience, that's where I've made the most money by far. That's where the best opportunities I've found are by far during this time. So if you have some money to throw at NFTs, you're looking out anywhere, I would focus on stuff like Sproto Gremlins, stuff that, again, already is proven in the meme coin NFT kind of niche that is kind of pulling back, and the hype's kind of low right now. For me, like I said, I think a lot of people are going to be buying these things as like a way to place their money into flex and stuff. And for that reason, I think a lot of these, if you are able to get into some of these early, are going to act as like a huge leverage position on ETH, because not only are these going to go up in Sproto Gremlins, for example, if they hit 10 ETH even, not only they're going up in ETH, but then the ETH itself is also going up. So I think it's just a huge leverage position if you have the balls to buy these kind of things now.
Totally.
Yeah, normally in the previous cycle when the chain token went up, NFTs were priced, but in a bull market, I agree. I tend to agree that everything just rises, right? It's more
Yeah, and I
on
think a lot of it has to do with like the NFTs are going to be attached to the coin itself. What I'm already noticing is that like the NFTs are also acting as a leverage position on the meme coin. For example, Zeroborn I bought at 0.9 ETH or 0.9 Sol, and then that's when the coin itself was at 100 million. Since then, the NFTs have gone up 10x, where the coin's gone up 5x, type of thing. So, if you're able to catch these NFTs towards the beginning in a good coin, maybe while the coin's correcting, I think there's a lot of money to be made. We're riding both of them on the way up.
Yeah. Interesting. Rhodes, so Bitcoin NFTs are okay, but what's running is runes. Is there a reason why there's I guess, divergence between those two?
Yeah, let's talk about Bitcoin NFTs first. They've done well. As Bitcoin moves, they will follow suit with. I think anytime we get some of these pullbacks, they're always a good entry. And to me, are the proper use case of store of value, flexing, etc. on Bitcoin. I like them. Now, runes. And Danksy and I had a conversation about this yesterday. And, I understand it. Bitcoin maximalists in general want ultimate utility. It's the chain of all chains. Let's do it all. And it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be bigger, and it's going to be better. However, this is not something that functions very effectively compared to what we have already existing for Solana, Ethereum, etc. when it comes to meme coins. Not only that, the memes that exist on runes aren't necessarily all that good either. But will they appreciate? Will they go up in value? I think rising tides raise all boats, and that when we're into a meme super cycle, sure, you're going to see some really good gains here. The general thesis behind runes, which makes them a potential opportunity, is that them getting listed on exchanges not only helps fix the process of trading runes, because right now it's a very challenging, clunky process, and just frankly something to avoid, to something that is completely manageable, and what we've seen with other tokens that have been listed will create crazy appreciation. So there is an opportunity with any one of these coins, dogs, pups, etc., that when they're listed, that you will see a pretty good appreciation. So if you want to take a percentage, a small allocation, and put some speculation on them, I think it's a fair bet. But in general, runes aren't the way for memes and meme coins, and I just tend to avoid things that aren't making things better, aren't getting the most eyes, etc. Sure, there's a hyper cult behind these. I'm willing to fade that and miss out, and still trade where I think the true meme coin should exist, etc. Right?
Yeah, and I really wonder what part of the Bitcoin holders would actually take some profits and kind of like buy the beta of Bitcoin, because I know that was kind of like a forced narrative. To me, it seemed like a forced narrative, but look, there seems to be some interest, right? I mean,
there seems to be like the crowd that's like not a full on maximalist like Michael Saylor, but isn't like a full on meme coin trader, kind of in the middle, like Udi, like these guys like Udi and stuff like that. A lot of them tend to like the obviously he started the Wizards or whatever. But I mean, I'm seeing
Leonidas, those guys. Leonidas started Dog, right? So
So I mean, I think there's a crowd and kind of in the middle of not full blown maximalists, not full blown meme coin degen crowd that kind of likes the flex on Bitcoin and the also just using Bitcoin for other things.
Don't forget a lot of the holders of these runes got it for free as an airdrop because they were buying and selling ordinals. And so, yeah, they own this asset that they got for free, and they don't care necessarily, if they've held it this long, they don't necessarily care to actively trade it. And they're going to be happy to get this, 10x or whatever if it gets listed on the exchange, and they're going to promote it, and they're going to be bullish for it for that reason. But they're not the ones that are out there buying it from scratch because they look at runes and be like, oh, this is the next great opportunity, or this is the way I want to trade memes. It literally was an airdrop for the majority, right?
I agree. The only thing I really like about runes is that there's really not that many like notable ones, right? You have Dog, you have $1 billion.
It's hard to make a rune.
And you have Pops, right? So you have 3, and if you look at Pops, it has done 3x in the last 30 days, and Dog 2x. So it's like, yes, it's not very widely available to everyone, but since there's not that many, it's like kind of like what happened with meme coins last cycle, right? Before we had Pump the Fund. I think a lot of capital might concentrate. So I've never really, to be honest, I've never really been into runes. I got airdrops some Pops and some runes. I think it's RSCI or something. I can't remember what it was because
You got airdrop these?
Yeah, I got airdrop. Yeah, and Dog too. I got a bunch of airdrop. Yeah, because I bought puppets. I bought Note Monks. So February was a big month for those, and I did fairly well. But then I didn't even check my wallet, and I had some airdrops, and obviously I didn't touch it. Right, it went 90% down. But now it's starting to look at my wallet, and it's like, okay, this is something. This might be something.
So what I just said is exactly why you're bringing up runes to want to know why if they're good or not, because you got airdropped some in there. They're excellent.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go over my port real quickly. Just like I've been buying. I bought 2 other deeds lands. I don't know why. Yesterday, I just have a gut feeling that like these shit.
You just aped into other deeds.
Yeah, I just had that gut feeling. I'm probably an idiot, but I just have a feeling that they're gonna do something with the other deeds where maybe it doesn't end up being anything, but that's just gonna have an initial pump. I feel like these things have just been like so fucking cheated. But again, I could be an idiot. I'll take a 2 or 3x even off of these or something like that. And then, I bought a few more Apus this week. I think those are undervalued as well, where they're currently at. For me, it's both a swing trade, and I will take some profits pretty quickly on a 2 or 3x probably. I think for these, we're actually sniped really heavily. So like there was just a huge bundle, and I think that's why the floor is so thick. It's like those are just finally being distributed. Not finally, but they've been distributed over the last few weeks. Apu, the coin's still been doing really well. I do think eventually these are going to bottom out. Probably from here, they've already been consolidating on above 10.10 for a while. I could easily see these going to like an ETH or something. Who knows? I don't really know how to value these things too crazy yet. But yeah, for me, Apu is a no-brainer right now as far as meme coin NFTs. Sprotos, I already have 3. As you can see, I'm down like 30% on all of them. But again, it's a swing trade for me. I think these are going to be way higher 6 months from now, a year. I'm going to hold on to my PFP one for a while. These 2 I'll definitely let go for a pretty penny. And then just have a bunch of VFriend stuff. I do think Gary V in his interview with Full Send, he pretty much predicted this entire NFT stuff at the very top. Pretty much said that everything is going to go 99%. And that when there's a bear market, he even said 2024, 2025, kind of pretty on point. I watched it recently. He said that when there is a bottom, that he's going to go ahead and sweep the projects that he found have actually survived and have been around and been doing things. And then if you go and look at VFriend's Twitter and his Twitter, he's maybe he's not hyping stuff up on Twitter, but he's doing real things with the VFriends, the trading cards. Been more active than any founder. Probably people shit on him, but been more active than any founder this entire time. I think with NFTs going up, that the Gary V stuff is going to do well. And then I do have some lo-fi Pepes from Art School Reject. I do think I have a lot of Pepe stuff, but I do think these will do well with Pepe going up as well.
Yeah, nice. I love the collection, man. It's looking good. And I almost forgot what it feels to collect NFTs. It used to be so fun. Really, just looking at your wallet, looking at your NFTs back in the previous cycle, I really enjoyed it. And
I think it's going to be a lot of fun again. Dude. I think it will be a lot of fun again too, especially if it's the meme coin stuff. Like it's actually relevant. Like I don't know. I feel like we're going to go back to the heydays again. But I didn't really do it like you guys back then, so who knows?
Yeah, at some point we own hundreds of other deeds, and we probably overpaid for them. But hey, if you want some, let me know. I have a few.
OTC, OTC me a few. How many do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
I think we have about. At some point we had over 100. So
wow.
I mean, Dexy, you manage the wallets, right? That we have.
We have a lot. We have
a lot.
Too many.
Now, but, where did you paid for? Like, did you mint them or you bought them out after?
No, we so.
I think we minted a lot, and then we just kept
we mint a few.
Damn.
Then we had some others. Others through apes, and because you had all these benefits, right, by owning apes and mutants, or whatever. So you got that, and then we bought a specific deeds from Club Island, which is kind of like the center of the map, right, for other deeds. Which is supposed to, back in the day, it's like kind of like 2.0 of sandbox, right? Like people are going to place more value on the center land that is closer to the clubhouse. That's the idea.
Gotcha.
And there's only like 100 or less than 100, so we have a few of those, hoping that at some point that becomes like it's kind of like the Fifth Avenue of of other deeds or the members.
I really love the concept of like owning a piece of the map. Like that shit's that's sick. Like someone's gonna pull it off where it's actually a good game, whether it's them or someone else, and like being able to own a part of like the actual shit, like I think that's gonna be huge.
Yeah, that was the idea, right? Like it was really to you don't have to play the game, you own the assets, so you get a yield. And then if it's if it's like a Fortnite where maps are actually built by people and you get a ton of attention and eyes, live people on the map, you can put brands as sponsors and make additional yield, right? Because then you let's say you have Adidas or whatever, or Nike that want to put their logo on your land and be seen. Then you get a deal from that. Plus, you get a deal from people either stepping on your land, using your resources or whatever. So that was the whole idea. But obviously, the market was not there for the hype, and these were very expensive for having no pretty much use case or a game live, right? So that was a problem.
What's up with what are like the most recent developments on the other side? Aren't they going to have another test here soon? I think, right?
Yeah, they came back with Improbable, right? The team that kind of like they split and then they came back, and now I think they're developing the game, so they should have updates coming up.
I'm pretty sure they're supposed to have 3D models of all the apes and the mutants. I'm pretty sure on the roadmap that was like one of the next things.
Yeah. So hopefully that's the case. We all want to see them succeed because we place a lot of bets and time on this ecosystem for sure.
I've almost gotten close to buying a mutant a few times when I was at 1.8 and stuff like that. Like I feel like again, kind of similar to other deeds, like I kind of want to have one just in case, like the other side is something and it gives you access to something and whatever. I don't know. I think it, like Roach was saying last week, they're probably a good swing trade either way for next year. But
yeah.
Wow. I love this part of the show, especially as NFTs. I remember a few weeks ago, like super dead. Now this is becoming a huge part of the show. So stoked that we have Roach and you guys here who are more in tune with this type of shit. And then I forgot to go. I do have a Neo Tokyo, which that's not moving too much, but I do think
well, Alex Becker is launching a meme coin, right? Isn't he doing
that? Yeah, he's launching a meme coin. I don't think he's going to own any of it or whatever. It's just for fun. A lot of people speculating on what it is already. I don't know if he put it out yet, or I don't know if he actually launched it yet or not. Actually made it, deployed it, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
It's funny that he finally gave into meme coins, but it's what it is, man. You have to adapt, and people want meme coins.
Notice he's doing it at the smart time, but we can talk about this too. I think we'll go into meme coins. I'll let you finish your thought. Sorry.
No, it was just I don't know. Rhodes, do you have any other things about thoughts about NFTs? I know what is the reason why Pudgy's went up I think it went up 14% for some reason, and then I think you guys mentioned rocks were up 50%, but what was the main reason?
I'm not sure the specific catalyst. I heard a little bit mentioned towards token discussion, etc. with them. I know it was something that they never ruled out and so I don't know if that is a catalyst for them. But I don't know exactly what the specific elements are to it. Wasn't able to capture or research that this morning.
So
Oh,
what about you guys?
is it a
Do you guys
partnership?
know what happened?
Yes?
Do you know what happened to the Colt coin for Milady? Like, what happened with that? Isn't that supposed to drop? Does anybody know what's
I
going
thought
on?
so. Yeah, I thought that was the reason why people were buying Miladies, but I never heard of it. And I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I
but they
think
have Retardio, right? Did Miladies get Retardio or not? Airdrop.
Milady's is just. I mean, you could argue it's probably like a derivative of Milady's, just like kind of whatever, but it's its own thing now. With the Retardio, that's another thing we can go into memes. I'm surprised Retardio is still at 140 million market cap, kind of lagging behind a lot of other coins. But yeah, Rotes, if you had to say like one NFT you think that's like in the best buy opportunity right now, in like the more existing stuff, would you say like Izuki? If you had to pick one like most opportune entry right now out of anything.
If I don't say Azuki now, I think it would absolutely be the time that it starts to move, because I have been saying it for so long, and it's the only one that hasn't really moved, right? So I think first and foremost, yeah, I would have to still say Azuki. Azuki is one of those ones though. You're waiting for something rather large to come from them, right?
Yeah.
And so you're buying and you're holding and speculating on that, and it's just a long-term hold. And when that comes, then you can decide if you hold and continue to hold, or if you sell into the momentum from that. Otherwise, if I were looking at any other collection besides them, I would probably lean towards looking at a like Milady's was great, and I would love to be them, but they've just been so hot lately that I would want a bit of a pullback to be able to enter them. So they're not quite there. I think, maybe something like Doodles on continued momentum.
Gotcha.
But like everything has been doing really well lately, that it's a harder pick. You're basically in a long-term kind of play and looking at what you think is maybe most undervalued, or what collections can really deliver some significant value based on where things are kind of on their roadmap, or what you expect, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should from there we should transfer to meme coins, but I'll go ahead and reset the room real quick. We do have, let's see, I had it just a second ago, 523 people on here. That's awesome. If you guys are from the Boss Man channel, shout out to you guys. Or just from Twitter. If you guys are on here for the first time, welcome. We do this twice a week. Once on Tuesdays today, which is 1:30 PST, and then Fridays, which is a little earlier, 10 a.m. PST. My name's Bren. I've been trading crypto for 8 or 9 years now. I focus a lot of the time on running Telegram channel with my partner Bossman Calls. Been running that with him for almost a year now, coming up on a year. I think when I joined up with him, 300 members, and then fast forward now, we're about to crack 30,000. This week's been insane. Bunch of new people coming into crypto. It's evident by how many people are joining the Telegram. If you aren't in there, definitely check it out. Had some huge calls this week. The Zero Born call, like I said, 8x. My partner Bossman, couple calls that went 30, 40x, I think was the top one, all in 1 week. It's probably been the best week we've ever had. So if you aren't in there, definitely check that out. And then we got my boys here for Loco, Danksy, and then Rotes. They run a alpha. There's so many different things. It's an NFT project, alpha group. They have experts in there in NFTs, meme coins, crypto, real estate, Bitcoin mining, all these different things, all like in one. They also have a Telegram. So this is the Twitter page right now that we're running it through. So definitely give them a follow, give everybody a follow here on the panel. And definitely, stay tuned. We're going to run these twice a week. So I appreciate you guys for being on. 500 people. It's awesome.
Great recap. Yeah, 5:30. Let's go. Do we have Johnny for meme coins, or should we just
Yoni, I
get
think
on
he's
it?
having a problem with his audio. Is he on right now? I don't see him, right?
He's not.
Okay, yeah. He might be hopping back in. If we do, we'll get him some insight from the trenches as well.
Before we move away from NFTs, you want to look at the pond, your favorite?
Oh yeah. How could I forget? That's another one. Maybe we should gatekeep this. I don't know, man. I've been wanting to buy one. Now I'm just playing. 185. This is interesting. I really want to hear what Rhodes has to say about this because in one of our chats, it's been crazy. He's been, he pretty much called exactly what this is going to happen so far. When it was going to over 2, he was saying, okay, I think it's going to come down, to 150, 175, and we're at 185 now. For me, I think I'm really interested if I can get one that I actually like. I don't really want this Rizzler one, but any of these, even if I can get one under 200 between 150 and 200, I definitely would like one for a long-term hold. My thesis for these, I think, the one of ones of Flog by the actual artist going into a meme coin super cycle while these things are kind of still finding their floor, I think is going to be a great swing trade and just something that I want to have a piece of. So, Rotes, what
you can put individual offers on the ones that you like, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I've been kind of just following my boy Rotes. You here. I just kind of been waiting for it to settle. But once we get closer down to here to whatever 150, 175, I'll probably start throwing some offers on ones I like.
Nice.
I mean, Flog seems like it's in starting corrective channel, so you might have your entry relatively soon.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying earlier. Sorry, go ahead.
Seeing how, I'm assuming the price of the pond and Flog are relatively moved together. So, if Flog keeps dipping or correcting,
this is probably the perfect time to pick one up. Yeah. You're so right, and I think we touched on it a little bit earlier, but maybe make it even more of a point that I think the meta, until maybe people start to realize this, is NFTs. I think are great alpha or beta on the coin itself, but like Danksy was saying, a lot of times they'll correct at the same time. So if you see the coin correcting as the NFTs are dipping, a lot of times that's the perfect time to get into both. So I was noticing the same thing earlier, and why I'm really probably gonna hopefully get a Flog here while they stay down. Hopefully they don't shoot the coin doesn't shoot up before that. But yeah,
I would also warn you, coming from being in NFTs for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to exit, if you're trying to swing trade or trade the pond, think about exit in the future, the liquidity might not be there.
For sure, and that's why it's a swing trade for me that I think I'd be buying. If again, the thesis that we are going into the meme coin super cycle, like that, I think it would be that's why I'm waiting for 150, 175. I think it was a good entry, but I'm I know that it could take some drawdown and it could be a year before I sell it, and maybe I don't even sell it. But I think my thesis is that the floor is going to go up so high compared to where I bought it at 150 to 175 that even if I took a discount at floor or whatever it may be to get it sold, it'll be worth it.
Yeah,
right, but
I
look
agree.
at this.
I think this is definitely a cycle hold, and if you look at previous cycle, I think then the gods hit 2,000 SOL at some point or something stupid. Obviously, maybe the price was a little bit lower, Solana. But
that was $11 Solana when that happened.
Yeah, it's true. In USD,
yeah,
go
ahead. What was the maybe it was Mad Lads that it reached 500 SOL or something like that, but. And that's a 10,000 collection, right? Or 5,000 collection. So what I'm trying to say is with 100 collection, right? You're gonna probably have less liquidity, but you're also gonna have so much way more buying pressure if the meme coin does well. So I agree. Bren, whatever you buy at 150 or 200, I think if you hold it for 6 to 12 months, you'll be fine because Flog will inevitably go higher.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bet on Flog, like Rotes was saying last week, that it's going to become one of the top coins, and I do think it will. It does look like DGods was at 46K? Is that one point? Was that? Am I reading that right?
That was $500,000.
That's USD.
That's not
no,
right.
that's USD. But they migrated multiple times. Remember? I mean, they migrated to ETH and then back to Solana. So I really
wasn't a 200K floor for a DGod, was it?
I have no clue. I actually have no clue.
They weren't. That's an ape. Apes were 400K, right? At the peak.
Apes were 150, I think.
ETH, right? But I'm talking USD. They were 400.
No, 150K. I think
USD.
Yeah. I mean, some DGods sell for stupid amounts of money. I mean, I remember the Bitcoin DGods and the other ones. Some of them sold for over $200,000.
Wait, so I'm tripping. Ones. Apes weren't 300K. I thought they were multiple hundreds.
500 at some point. 500,000 at some point on the floor. Yeah.
Crazy.
So there's and that was Ethereum, right? And whenever you had to buy and sell, Jesus Christ, you paid like your arm and leg on fees.
I
But
want to hear
Solana
what the
is
man
way
himself,
different.
Rhodes, has to say about the pond. I kind of spoke for him a second ago, but like,
I was gonna say I'm waiting to jump in.
yeah, what are your thoughts, brother?
Let the real expert talk.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yesterday, there was 2 quick sales in succession, right before our session yesterday. One of them, I think, is probably a top 5 PFP in the collection that sold for just about 300 sold.
This
so
one?
that's this one here. And then another one that sold afterwards at the 200 soul range. Prices are always tricky to see because the price that it shows on the sale is the price that the person sold it netted, but the price that is actually listed for on Magic Eden includes the royalties, etc. So it's really hard to like do that price conversion math overall. So yeah, I was like, I was saying, okay, we get down to 150, 175, and then start to see some sales on the up, then that's probably your time to enter. Almost looked like that yesterday, and that would have been the 200 soul kind of floor. I still expect we're going to get some drawdown. You're going to want to monitor the price of FWOG on that. It does look like the meme coin is kind of prime there, and so that may play a bit different. But I think for the moment, it's just a wait and see. When you look at NFT buying, it always is that the price is always better tomorrow. It's typically the kind of attitude you go in there and you end up trying to be as patient as you can. And that's where you're going to get yourself the best deals and find the right one to buy. There is certainly a chance you miss out. There's certainly a chance that all of a sudden something massive happens, it gets listed and there's a sweep, and then all of a sudden you're looking at a 250 soul floor for a pond NFT. It all could happen, right? At any given moment, that's the risk you take. But if you're looking at this, I'm looking to continue to wait it out and watch as the sales kind of go in. It's such a small collection. Liquidity isn't massive, so it's a little harder. But I think you're gonna see things kind of price down as it goes, and wait to kind of get your grasp there. Dynamics might change a bit when these raffles stop as well. Maybe there's people that are trying their luck on raffles that still want to get themselves a FWOG, and they're playing the raffle route. And when those stop, then maybe they go into to buy one. So that's the only other kind of hidden liquidity that might still be there. But at the moment, yeah, it's just a wait it out kind of game. Look for prices as low as 150, and then that's kind of where you look to jump.
Cool. So if someone like myself or somebody who might be looking to buy one of these, what were a few things or one or a few things that you'd like to see to kind of before these things will bottom out and go up? Probably getting down to like around that 150 to 175 range, and then like a few sales there to kind of make a floor, or like what would something a few things you'd like to see?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to see a lot of sales in general, right? So even a few sales is a fair bit of sales for the collection in general. But as long as other NFTs are being listed lower along with the kind of couple floor ones, then as long as you got some thickness to that floor, then you're not in a chance of totally missing out. And then you're going to want to look for a few more sales. If it's just one or two that kind of get listed lower, then it's a little harder, because one or two sales and all of a sudden the floor jumps back up to 200, right? So I like I said, I would look for a couple few sales, but it's the dynamics on 100 NFT collection are a lot different than when you're looking at something that has 10,000 or even half that, or whatever the case may be. So it's, and then they're also a $50,000 to $60,000 NFT.
Yeah.
And the way Solana's been running, this price is coming down, but it really hasn't changed a whole lot, because Solana's also gone up pretty substantially in the period of time that we've been talking about this collection, right? So
For sure.
it's watch the meme token, watch how that progresses. If it's on the rise, then that's also what I'm sure others that might be on the side here looking at this are waiting for it to happen, that we want to see FWOG appreciate more. FWOG as a $1 billion collection is a lot different than FWOG as $500 million collection, and
Yeah.
you know, are you holding $500 million, or are you losing $500 million and not, you know, maintaining relevance and being established, right? Because you buy a pond and fog dies off. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's certainly a possibility. Then the value of the NFT changes quite dramatically, right? So there's a lot of additional risk there that, you know, you want to kind of maybe wait and see how that plays out. So
Absolutely. Great points for sure. Does anybody know what this is? Like, what is this supposed to be?
It's a flog.
yeah, it looks
Oh,
like
yeah?
a frog to me.
Where's the raffle? I'm gonna get it. Win the flog for you, Bren. How about that?
What?
I'm gonna win the raffle and send you the flog.
The last raffle
I'll buy it.
winner was a 1-ticket raffle winner. So roughly
What?
75
Crazy.
US dollars that won it.
Good for
Aren't these NFTs made from the actual holders' PFPs?
Some
So
of them,
maybe-
right?
Well, I think a good majority of them are, right?
Okay.
And then there's ones like this, which is the Rizzler, which I don't think this is anybody's PFPs. I think these are the raffled ones, right?
Okay.
Like things like
This one existed
Bro,
before the
where's
raffle.
the link
I
for
think.
the raffle?
You have to go to the FWOG Twitter page, and then probably to the FWOG artist. I think either or. But there is actually a site that it's on, but it only shows up every so often. I posted it last on the Friday session, the recent ones. Let me look it up, and I'll post it in our.
What I like too is like you see a lot of these. But we're gonna get into meme coins in a second, guys. I know we're ending the show, nearing the end of our normal show. We might have to run it like 10, 15 minutes later because I know a lot of you guys are here for meme coins, but as well as what was I about to say? I was about to say one more thing about FWOG. I just completely
flog.
lost it.
Was it the raffle or the collection?
Oh, what I do notice about FWOG, what I like is a lot of these guys that do have these are just super adamant, like super good FWOG community members, but not necessarily people with like a ton of followers or like anything like that. So he's really blessing these people that are just like strong FWOG people, not just because they have crazy influence or have a lot of money or anything. It's like the strongest like community members. So I think for that reason, we'll probably see a lot of them get sold. But at the same time, probably a lot of these might be diamond handed for a long time as well. So yeah, definitely I'm going to keep my eye on this. I do like this. I do like this one right here. Go ahead.
Truffle.wtf is where you see the raffles.
Yeah.
And
Can you
there
link it to me?
is Truffle, TRUFFLE.WTF. Use your fingers. Got it.
There you go, Danksy.
Scammed. I just lost everything from clicking.
Nice.
Happens sometimes.
I like the fire FWOG. Is so
50 FWOG was the latest raffle
It
price.
ended.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, it ended.
just
So
wait
there'll
for
be a new
one.
one coming up here. Yeah.
How many more again till they're done?
That was number 93. So what, 7 more?
Nice. So yeah, definitely gonna keep an eye on this. Definitely exciting. NFTs are heating up. I think just getting started on that. Let's definitely shift over to meme coins. I know a lot of you guys are here for that. So I mean, like I was kind of touching on earlier, a lot of what we're seeing right now is the AI agents kind of taking center stage. A lot of that is driven by where a lot of these cult coins, which we'll go over in a second, have kind of been pulling back after huge runs. We're getting rotations into other things. It was Peanut and the kind of the IRL, Binance coins the last few days. Now it's being a lot of the AI agents. It's having a lot of the mind share. You're starting to see Thread Guy and a lot of these guys have the AI agent guys on. So that's where a lot of the mind share is at. Rightfully so for coins like Zero Bro, like we went over earlier on the show. If you weren't here, called it around both in the stream and the channel, Bossman Calls channel at around 90 to 100 million. I loaded up heavily here. Again, it was just a proven AI agent that was already shipping stuff, and then just a beautiful corrective chart pattern. And then since then, it's up. What is this, 5 or 6x? The biggest thing is the guy Jeffy. Like I said, just keeps shipping stuff. He released an EP, doing a lot of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if this got an exchange listing soon. So I'll be taking profits on here right now. If you're coming in here new, or maybe you're just looking to deploy some funds, I would always just kind of how Rotes was saying, not to chase stuff like the whatever Milady's on the way up. I'm the same kind of way. I like to look for things that are proven but are correcting currently and have less hype. And to me, I know this is unpopular opinion right now. A lot of people I know a lot of it's just shit posting, but just like shitting on like Murad and just kind of these cult coins. And I think it's a lot of it's just based on people just don't understand corrections and how corrective behavior works. Pretty much a lot of the people are doing right now on Twitter. SPX, for example, went up like 100x. Of course, like right now it's correcting 50%. I don't think any of us should be surprised about this. I don't think that this means SPX is any worse of a coin than it was before. If anything, SPX is the same fundamentally, has an even stronger community, more holders now, but is now giving you a 50% discount. For me, these are the opportunities that I've proven over my 8 or 9 years of trading to be the best opportunities ROI wise and just like risk to reward wise in general. So SPX, for example, right now, 500 million market cap. That might seem crazy to you compared to a 1 or 2 million, 500K market cap. But you have to understand the momentum and the communities that are built around these coins that have literally like people rating and on Twitter as like little armies all day, kind of repping these coins. How they have the supply distributions possible to take these, 5-10 billion market cap billion market cap. So this is the coins I would be paying attention to right now. If you're looking to deploy a lot of money or you don't have your portfolio or your bags packed yet, I would focus on stuff like SPX, Giga, for example. Another one, 50% correction, just as good of a coin as it was last month, just as strong of a community. Only thing that's different is price is not going up. So Giga, 50% for me. I already have a huge bag of Giga, but I added again to these coins because they're in such great corrections. Bitcoin, ticker Bitcoin, probably being the most obvious of them all. Beautiful corrective channel since October. And I think this is another reason I think the Sprotos are going to explode because, again, it hasn't even been going up for a month. Ticker Bitcoin, another one, and then just one more. Two more. Lock in, another one, under 100 million. This is easily going to $1 billion. Now it's at 50 million. But obvious correction, as you can see here, pretty much the same one as we got in October. You just got to understand when attention shifts elsewhere, these things correct hard. But all that is just another great entry. If you don't have one yet, lock in another one that I think I know this sounds crazy, but I think it's a lock for a 20x to $1 billion if we do get a meme coin run into next year. And then one more, which is it's a lower market cap. But Harambe, even at 40 million, it got cheated hard again at this all-time high. I don't know what this is, if there's just somebody who sells a lot of these or what, but Harambe is just a no-brainer to me. Normie friendly, great distribution metrics, everything it takes to go to $1 billion as well. So coins like this is just no-brainers for me. That's what I would focus on if you are looking to deploy a lot of capital. Maybe you just came back to crypto for a little bit, or maybe you just got paid, whatever. Those are the coins I'd recommend. From there, take the rest of your portfolio, play with the lower cap, newer stuff. That's what I always recommend. So what are your guys' thoughts on the meme coins the last few days?
That's a great recap, to be honest, Bren. I think that meme coins especially majors, are kind of like taking a breather here. I think last week was massive euphoria, and you're seeing a little bit of a retracement across at least the top caps. The one that I've been tracking, I've been tracking for a while, but I don't think it has had that explosive move and is waiting for a major listing is Bobcat, which is hovering around 1.5, 1.7 billion market cap. And I think that's the next one that when we have another run into 100,000 Bitcoin, perhaps we get a listing. Obviously now it's retracing a little bit, but the chart just looks so good. The community has been there for a while. The metrics on chain are fantastic. So this is my bet for the top crypto market cap, top of like meme coins. Other than that, yeah, I agree with you. I think we're seeing a significant retrace on the Murad meme coins, and at some point we'll have very good entries. So
yeah, I think they're right now. I think a lot of people, again, it's just shit posting, and I think it's funny too. But I think it might confuse some people that are newer, that might have bought towards the top of these Murad coins. Trust me, it's not even about Murad. Murad will tell you this himself. He's the one who thought of it and put it so eloquently. But it's about the thesis and the communities of these coins themselves. These coins, again, are just the best. Doesn't mean they're going to be the ones that do the best. They're just the best set up to be able to go to those high market caps due to the communities, the market caps distribution. I'm sorry, the supply distribution and all that. So, yeah, I love Popcat too. I just, I know the team, aka the CTO lead. I recently got to know her. She's great. I think Popcat, like you said, is a great candidate to have one of those major listings, maybe even like a Coinbase or something crazy, because everything checks out. Supply distribution, the CTO lead. She built it from like the ground up. Like it got completely washed. So it's definitely, again, just set up the best. It doesn't have a lot of huge holders that can do, dump on everybody's head. Huge bundled supply type stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
really
and
like
there's just so many dogs, but there's not really a cat, right? Like that is like listed on those tier one exchanges.
yeah.
So that's what I'm waiting for. I mean, we have a frog, and how many dogs? There's so many dogs. So
Yeah.
I think we need something different. But the other, I think there's a couple of other topics we should discuss in the meme coin world. When you look at volume on the screener, one of them is A16C and ELISA. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but they launched this token, and
Oh, that's not it. You said volume, right? Where is it?
did I wrong? Sorry, someone called me.
No, you're good.
But yeah, those tokens are the ones that are kind of like creating a little bit of headlines, because apparently there was already an ELISA token before that. And yesterday, the team at A16C said that they released ELISA, or they set her free, which actually means that they actually launched their own token. So the other token went down like 50-60%. I mean, if you open up the ELISA chart, the first one, I'm pretty sure that's a new one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that one went up to 80 million, then retraced. But there's another ELISA token that was created a few weeks back, and that's the one that everyone is like saying that the founder kind of like rocked. But the truth is that it was not launched by A16C. This one. Oh, it actually came back a little. Whoa,
Well, yeah,
that was crazy price action.
the one I looked at a second ago wasn't even. It was like another one. I think there's probably another one you're talking about.
This
Because
one is the previous one that runs so much. And then yesterday, the founder said that the newer one is the one that they launched,
okay.
the other ELISA. So that's why people kind of like were like dumping and buying the other bags, and now back at this. So it's a little bit of conflict, right? Because a lot of people had invested quite a lot in this. But it looks like he's trying to amend whatever mistake or confusion happened overnight. So hopefully you guys are not invested in this or don't have any bags, because that was a pretty price action.
Yeah, for sure. I just stopped sharing my screen for a second. I'll do it in a second.
No, you're good. That's crazy that they're launching meme coins.
Well, no, it's a 16C. It's like kind of like the
The VC company.
No, it's the parody. It's the parody of it.
Oh,
Right,
AI
right.
16Z or whatever.
AI 16C, yeah. AI 16C.
I was like,
that's
no
right.
way. A16Z is launching meme coin.
No. And I'm sure they actually have some meme coins in their portfolio, to be honest. They're all degens. But the other news is that Trump, this BACT token or whatever, BAKKT, have you guys heard of that token?
Yeah, I did see the news that they might buy the backed or whatever. I was wondering, does that mean, I know a lot of companies, when someone buys somebody out, like the DJT ticker, would it like absorb the backed company, or would it still stay like the? You
I
get
don't
what I'm
know.
trying to
I
ask?
think- these are just meme
that's an
coins.
equity question. That's an equity question. That's a
Yeah.
stock market question versus a meme.
No, they're trying
Yeah,
to
see,
buy
I don't know.
the-
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, it's a crypto
Yeah,
exchange.
they just like disappear. They just disappear, and then the whatever company gets bigger.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean, like it's 132 million in volume, this BAKKT token, but I think it's just obviously a meme coin based on the news that Trump might buy the crypto exchange back, which is the one that we're just discussing. So I haven't really played it, but the volume is impressive. So I guess that's the other thing that we saw yesterday. I think it spiked all the way to 40 million market cap, and now it's around 20. So and then the other topic is the one that we discussed at the beginning, which is the RIF and what's the other one? Euro, which are the DSFI of decentralized science.
I really need to look
chain.
into that. That's interesting. The
Yeah.
DSA.
Yeah, those are the two ones that I haven't really bought them, because I really think that unless there's something really behind it that or more hype, I think this might die next week, to be honest, guys. It's one of
They'll
those
probably
things
die
that
next week. We should come
Yeah.
up with a crazy science experiment. We can.
Pump science.
we can do something on.
Yeah. And then
What
the
about
twos
you,
that
Rhodes
the,
and
the, the other
Rhodes
two
and
I'm looking
Danksy?
at before you
ahead.
guys go is Farcoin and Cerebro. And I know you're in Cerebro. Farcoin is the other one I'm looking at, and it looks like it's down 25% over the last day or so. So that's the one I want to buy, and I think it's like so dumb that it's actually going to run to billions. So that's it for me.
Rhodes and Danksy, have you guys made any big meme plays this week at all, or you just anything notable? You've just been chilling.
Just chilling.
Dogecoin pulling back this week. We haven't even talked about that.
I mean,
I haven't looked at it. I guess.
I guess.
It's
It's not going only up, so I guess.
Oh yeah,
a
it's just
little pullback.
consolidating.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the real memes to come out.
Yeah, bro. I know. Yeah, I feel like Elon obviously started Doge, which is bigger than anything, but I feel like he'll start a parade of tweets soon.
Soon
Either
he
way,
gets that
higher.
position.
What?
Have you seen the Giga correction?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Where were you?
Oh, I didn't know you pulled up the chart.
Oh yeah, maybe I didn't have my screen up like last time, but yeah, no, Giga beautiful correction right now. Like I was saying earlier, I don't think it's any worse of a coin as it was a month ago. It's just literally price just not going up, and it's went up in September. What is this like? I don't even know how much it went up. 10x in September, so not surprised it corrected.
Soon. This is a pretty good entry.
Absolutely.
I put a line here from yesterday's space for a theoretical entry if you entered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Nice. Oh,
good-
from the
good
last
initial-
space.
The one yesterday, just
Oh,
the
okay.
Monday space. And
Nice,
then,
nice.
Yeah, you want to see a bit of a bounce here, I think, before
Yeah.
entering. Just given the fact that you dropped this level, you could be looking a fair bit lower. But it's so close to being just a perfect entry for Giga.
Yep.
I like the thesis that FG had on PopCat as well, being the one to get listed. It's at a pretty high market cap already, but a 2x isn't unreasonable when you get one of those listings. And I think that a lot of that's being priced in already, just given the way the chart's looking right now with PopCat and it leading
Hey,
the way for cats.
You and I have a 3x, 2 to 3x short term, but Murad has a $25 price target for PopCat this cycle. So somewhere
What's
in
it at?
between.
170. Does he really have a 25? What's so?
And
Yeah,
Murad
he's
is
just-
Murad
he's
is
just
like
saying shit on-
he's massive bull, right? So like
Like, you
Hey,
can just say
if
anything
you
you
wanna
want on
maybe-
Twitter.
He said
20
PopCat to 40. I don't know about that.
No,
Dude,
25.
PopCat goes
He
to
said
25
25.
PopCat goes
Oh,
to
so yeah, 10x.
if PopCat goes to
Nah, it's-
25 bill,
That's
Dogecoin's
over
gonna be at
10x.
like what, 150?
Yeah, I mean, you're just putting in the framework of only one or two meme coins ever getting there. Like I don't know. I just refuse to believe where it's like we're seeing peak meme coin hype, and I do think a lot of that. Again, we went over like a lot of the money that would have gone into these ICOs and these bullshit like fake tech coins before are just going to go straight into memes, which is going to allow for multiple coins to go to. We're going to see a bunch of coins
yeah.
at 10 billion, I think, and
Well,
several above 50,
yeah.
maybe even a few above 100. I think it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? Like Pepe is at hit 10 billion with Bitcoin at 90 something thousand. If Bitcoin goes to 150, which is not really out of the scope, right? With all these
Not at all.
institutions buying, why would not Pepe go to 30 to 40 billion, and why would not PopCat go to 10 to 15? So
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not saying it's gonna go to 30, 40 billion, but there's definitely a 10x in play here.
People fail to realize how much wealth is going to be built from just this Doge run and how much money you're going to be like, oh shit, I'm up fucking $100,000 from Doge from the last few years. I'm going to go ahead and put this in some smaller, cap coin. I'm going to go ahead and put this down the risk curve. The first place they're going to go is other strong communities like Doge, stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a huge wealth effect from Doge as well. That's going to trickle down. Huge wealth effect from Bitcoin, ETH, all of these that we've yet to see. Where I truly do believe in the meme coin super cycle. I don't care who was saying it, freaking Murad, whoever. I fully believe in that. Again, just based on everything else that's setting up, the institutional money, normies kind of coming back for the first time in a few years after the FTX effect kind of worn off, all of that. So who knows? Maybe there isn't like 5 coins that go to 100. Maybe his targets are a little bit higher, but I think the thesis checks out.
Yeah, and think about it, guys. When the price goes up, the sell button gets smaller, and when the price goes down, the sell button gets bigger, right? So
Yeah.
there's always like on a bull market, there's always like that squeeze and that you know greed from human beings that it just goes up and people might not sell for a long time, right? So that's what I'm saying, that the upside is always much more irrational than the downside, because people tend to sell when things go down as because they're scared, but they don't really, most people are not really that diligent to take profits when things go up. So
Yeah, and I think we're just so early in the fact, yeah, normies are coming back quickly, but I think we're so early in that one metric of normies, coming back, and that's the one metric that picks up super quick. Like in a matter of 3 weeks, we could be in a completely different situation. But yeah, no, I think that's the biggest thing, and why we still have so much upside in even these coins at 500 to a billion is that we have seen nothing yet as far as overall hype and euphoria.
yeah, last thing is Solana got rejected at 248. I think it was yesterday, and now it's dipping to 234. So that's why we're seeing a bunch of meme coins on Solana take a dip here. But it's
Yeah,
normal.
Bitcoin's
We
coming
went
down
up
too.
super high. So
Yeah, it looks like it's this high is failing to break right now. If it goes any lower, we're probably going to touch 87, 80, 80, 88, 87 again, form that bigger corrective consolidation, and then I think probably move higher, maybe to end the week or maybe to start next week. We'll see.
what do you think Sol will do here over the weekend? Solana.
Tough to say. I think over the next few weeks we're going to move higher, for sure, as long as we don't get a Christmas slowdown. So that's why it's kind of tough. But I would say a month from now we're probably a lot higher.
You think we go back to those levels? You see that green maxi green gone candle? You think we get to the previous top before that? Like,
When
or is
was the
that
day of that? The
too
16th, 3 days ago? Yeah, no, if Bitcoin gets back down to 87, I think, yeah, we could touch.
195? Is it 195 or 190
Yeah,
something?
maybe. I have to look at Sol. But yeah, no, wherever Bitcoin was around that day, we could probably definitely touch that again. Let's see. Yeah, no, I could see Sol. Yeah, I could see Sol hitting like even 210 one more time, something like that. But yeah, I
Oh,
think
that's good.
Bitcoin's the clearer setup. ETH is the cleanest, but because it hasn't taken off yet. But Bitcoin, I think, whenever Bitcoin's at that 87, 88 level, everything else will probably bottom out.
Yeah, and we all root for Bitcoin, but the truth is that most listeners hold Solana or Solana meme codes here. That's how we are
For
tracking
sure.
Solana.
Yeah, I would guess like the average Bitcoin holding for everybody's portfolio in here is like 1%.
Yeah.
If that, you know what I mean? Even for myself, if there were to be
me
some
check.
kind of
Let me check.
Bitcoin only crisis right now, like my hyperinflation took off or something, like I would definitely be underweight Bitcoin. But that's a goal of mine. Take profits on the way up more into to Bitcoin this next year.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, unless you guys have anything else, I think it's a good time to wrap it up. Almost an hour and 40 minutes here, and 632 listeners. Thanks everyone for joining us today.
Oh
Sure.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, we do these twice a week. We'll be back here on a Friday. Definitely follow everybody on the panel. My boy Yoni wasn't able to make it. I think he had some difficulties, but everybody else on here, you can see him tagged in the post. Go ahead and check out their channel, B3L. And then definitely, if you're not on the Boss Man channel, definitely join and say what's up in there. I do streams, post all my in-depth analysis, everything like that on there. So, yeah, thank you guys for coming on, and we'll see you on Friday.
See you guys. Much
See you
love.
later.
Appreciate you
All right.
guys.
Peace. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.